One. Are you recording?
And we're
you're
back.
recording. Oh, you're recording. Hey, we're back.
It's insane.
What if I give a thumbs up? Gotta love Max. Yeah, I'm using my work computer, so who knows?
We'll cut that part
Welcome
out.
back, everybody.
Welcome to the podcast. Ooh, a little drinky drink. What you got there,
Yeah.
Adam?
I didn't feel like drinking any beer. Well, I'm doing the Basil Hayden.
Oh, okay. Did you
With
rice wash it?
No, I didn't. Fuck that.
What a fucking fail.
Yeah, Basil Hayden, and then what it is, it's a Kentucky Mule. So Kentucky Mule.
What is that?
Kentucky Mule. It's like a Moscow Mule, but instead of using vodka, you use bourbon. So bourbon, ginger beer. They say a tablespoon of lime juice. I feel like it's just a little too much. I do a little less of lime juice, and then you're supposed to shake it. I just stir it over ice. You got yourself a nice little light.
Refreshing,
It's a great camera. Look at this.
right? This is the best you've ever looked.
I love your fucking shirt. Stand up. I love it. Daniel is wearing a Superman shirt, just so you guys know. Which is ironic, because episode 3, we talked about DC.
Mm-hmm. Superman's in DC? No, kidding. I learned that in that episode.
Adam for making the face.
Adam wants to strangle me through the computer. Paul Miller? Yeah. You kind of, with the Paul Miller hat, and then you're growing a little scruffle, too. It's like your winter beard.
Yeah, I just haven't shaved.
You look a little bit like you're on the sidelines of a racetrack calling,
Let's go, Johnson. All right. So how long has it been?
like 5 weeks. It's been too long,
Really?
but I was traveling a bunch. Then you were traveling. So
What? I wasn't traveling.
No, you weren't. Let's start with Adam.
Okay, I don't know. I'm like, my notes are a little all over the place. So should we start off with a couple questions I have about life? All right, Dan, I was watching a video about, it was cute little panda, a little panda bear.
Panda bear? Okay.
A panda bear. Yeah, panda. I think it was on the news. It was the pandas that came, or they came back from China, or it's like the grandparents, the grandchildren of the parents that came, right? Remember that? Right? Okay. You don't know. You really don't know?
No.
Yeah. So
I'm not up on the panda gossip.
The pandas were gifted to us from China?
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 I think. Yeah.
I think so. I think they were a gift from China, and they've been like an attraction at the San Diego Zoo, something like that, I want to say.
I am Ron Burgundy.
And so they've been around since like the 70s, and then there's been 3 generations of pandas, I think, and the most recent generation, they were leaving to go back to China, and everybody was really upset, and they reported on it, and it was like, no, the pandas. Well, apparently China gave us the grandchildren, so it's been like a whole family line of these pandas. So like now there's like the new baby pandas, everybody's really happy. So anyway, fucking tangents. So I had a couple questions about pandas. First question. Do you think a panda and a bear have ever met before?
I'd say no.
No, right?
But like, I guess they're wild. Like, they've got bears in China too, right?
Right? And Thailand, right? Aren't there? There's pandas and panda bears in Thailand, right?
I mean,
yeah, he's gonna Google it.
I don't know.
I just, I wonder, like different breeds of dogs, right? Different breeds of dogs will see each other and go, "Oh, you're a dog. Hey, let me go sniff your ass," right? Like, if a panda ran into a bear, say a black bear, grizzly bear, are they like, "Hey, you're a bear"? Or are they like, "What the fuck are you?" Because my next question, okay, as you're Googling it, I see you. Are panda bears actually bears? Or do we just call them panda bears because they look like bears? And we're like, oh, it's a panda bear.
Are pandas bears?
Shits. Put your comments below, folks.
The giant panda. Pandas aren't bears. They're closer to walruses.
What? See, folks, there's knowledge to my curiosity. Pandas aren't bears?
Wait, never. That was panda bear is a bear species endemic to China. Let's see what we got here. That was something that came up on the AI generator.
You can't trust that.
No. In 1985, studies indicated that the giant panda is a true bear. Before that, there was arguments as to whether it was more closely linked to raccoons.
Raccoons? Why? Because they have the dark circles around their eyes?
I don't know.
That's some ignorant shit right there.
Right? Just because you got dark circles doesn't mean you're a trash panda.
I got dark circles. I'm a panda.
No, it just means you haven't slept in 3 days.
Hey, yeah, seriously.
Okay. So definitely bears.
Okay.
And then it says giant pandas have encountered Asian black bears before. And Asian black bears can attack young giant panda cubs, along with other predators like snow leopards, eagles, and feral dogs.
Okay.
But it's a good question because, like, I feel like they're pretty, like, stupid. When you ever see the, pandas play? Yeah.
Oh, they're idiots.
Yeah.
I love them.
So, but
they're also extremely vicious.
They are. Okay, so they would be good at fighting. I thought they'd get whooped on.
No, they're apparently really vicious.
Yes.
Don't you remember the documentary Tropic Thunder?
What a great movie.
Okay. All right. So we figured that out. So I asked Libby one day, and she was like, I don't know. Look it up. I said, I'm not. So I'm leaving it for the podcast.
Yes.
Okay. Next thought of Adam bounced around my
Adam's
head.
Shower thoughts. Or inside Adam's brain.
Yeah, it's scary.
Being Adam. Like being John Malkovich.
That's even scarier. So, I'll say the question and then I'll tell you where the thought came from. So, no, I'll just tell you where the thought came from. So I was driving through town and people are starting to drain their the water lines, the sprinkler systems. Don't look at me like that then. So people are starting, because it's, northeast, it's going to start getting cold. We closed up the shore house. So same thing. We have to like blow the lines out and stuff like that so you don't break a pipe and all that. Now here's a question. Do hydrants freeze? How come you don't have to blow a hydrant out?
So I think I saw this one time. We can look it up.
Okay.
But I want to say, like, the thing in the top that turns it on is turning like a big lever that's like 6 feet under the ground. So the water isn't up to the top. It's like much lower. It's like having like a spigot on the side of your house. Why does that not freeze? It's because the actual like on off is further in.
No, spigot will freeze.
Yeah, but you can get some that have like the opener like 8 inches in. Like basically when you turn it off, 8 inches worth of water drains out and then it's held back inside the house.
See what you're saying?
So I think that it's something like that. Like there isn't water like above a certain level below ground. Yeah.
That will freeze.
Yeah.
Interesting. So the lever on top releases the flow valve.
Mm-hmm.
What? How is that possible? Because think about New York City, right? When all the kids are really hot and stuff, the dad will pop the line and it blows. I mean, everybody loses, pressure and stuff. But is he corkscrewing the top off, like to release the water?
So here, I looked it up.
Wait, hold on. What about in movies and stuff? People crash and the fire hydrant and it blows off. Wait a second. We're getting deep here.
So, internet says it's called a dry barrel hydrant, where the water is below the valve on the fire hydrant is positioned below the frost line, so that the water drains below the freezing point, and then the top is just like a corkscrew that goes down to a valve much further down instead of right next to it. 1838, John Jordan patented the design that included an extra valve at the bottom of the pipe to allow the complete drainage after use.
Wow.
Thanks, John.
What a guy.
What a
Okay,
guy.
so that's why they don't freeze. Oh, no, it's just a thought. It's a thought by Adam.
It's a good thought. And somebody else probably had that thought too. His name was
which is
John
why
Jordan.
which is why John made the thing. If I was looking at it, I was like, that might freeze. We have to do something about that. All right, I think that was it for my thoughts.
Which is even more surprising that fire hydrants have been around since 1838. That seems like a long time ago.
No, I mean, think about it. We were founded in 1776. We landed on Plymouth Rock, and
we didn't land on Plymouth Rock. Plymouth Rock landed on us.
Good nobles, lend me your ears. Disgusting. Great movie.
I love it.
Do we have any comments on our video? We keep telling our 4 viewers to make comments. Are they?
I mean, viewer number 1 or subscriber number 1 has made a number of comments.
Have you really?
Yeah. I've even replied to them.
Have you?
Yeah.
Oh my God. Thanks, viewer number 1, that we had to bleep out last episode. Good job. I like that. I died when I heard that. I was like, yes, we got bleeping now. Okay, one last thing before, and then I'll switch it over to you. So, you ever drink too much, right? Or your stomach is unbalanced?
Yes.
Right? And you're like, oh, I'm going to have a beer, whatever, right? And you start getting like really bad acid reflux. Or you've been eating a lot of like red sauce or like a lot of like deep fried stuff, right? And you just like by like day 3 or 4, you're like, oh God, like you can eat a salad and like you're like getting agita.
Feel it
right?
Up to here.
So, back during Andrew's bachelor party, I think it was. Yeah, I think it was Andrew's bachelor party. We were doing bar happen, and it started getting really bad agita. I was like, Jesus, I'm getting old. All right, so I went up to one of like the servers, and I was like, hey, this is so random, but you got like Tums or something, or like milk or something, and they're like, what? I was like, dude, I got like really bad, like it's like in my throat agita, and they're like, just take a shot of mustard, and I was like, I'm sorry, what? He's like, take a shot of mustard, and I was like, what? That doesn't make sense because mustard is very acidic. He goes, yeah, that's what I thought too. But some guy came in asking earlier, ironically, and he said that it works. The acidity balances out and neutralizes better than milk. And I was like, shut your fucking face. I don't believe you. So that was a number of years ago. And, you take Tums, right? Or Peptid, right? Okay. So there was like a day, I think it was like a week or 2 ago, where like 3 days in a row, I was like, just no matter what I ate, I was just like up to here, like I was like unbalanced. And I was doing Pepsid, but like you don't want to take a lot of that because that's not good for you. So by day 3, I was like, this is annoying. So I did it. I did yellow mustard. I took a spoon and I put like about maybe filled like half the spoon up, and I just did it. It was disgusting, Dan.
Mm-hmm.
But it fucking worked.
That's so weird.
Right? It worked. What's weird is that, like, the mustard, as mustard, like, stings, right? If you have too much of it, like, on your hot dog. Yeah, it stung, but then, like, it hit the acid, and then, like, stung, and then stopped. And I was like, the fuck? And it worked.
Interesting. So, like, more... I wonder if it's not the acidic... Because, like, mustard has, like, vinegar in it. But maybe it's something about mustard seed that makes it like, I don't know, it's like mustard medicinal. I wonder if that does something.
You're the chemist, man. I thought maybe there's something like when 2 acidic pieces meet, they cancel each other out. Like, I don't know, like 2 fractions. I don't know.
Not typically, no. I don't know. That's weird.
It was weird. So, next time we have it, try it. You got yellow mustard?
I've been having a little agita lately. Maybe I'll pound some mustard. Just
take it to the face, man.
Now, what kind of mustard was it? Like French's yellow? Dijon?
No, not Dijon. No,
Spicy
just regular. Brown? What's the ones that are at the Frank's? No.
French's.
There it is. French's. Yeah.
French's yellow. The classic.
Yeah. Classic. Okay. Right.
I will.
Let me know. I want to know if it works for you. I don't know if it was just like this weird kind of fluke thing. Now, granted, if you do it, make sure you're done eating for the rest of the night. Because I'm sure, like, if you go, like, if you do it for like lunchtime and then like you go to dinner and you're like, oh, I'm gonna have ziti, I'm sure it's probably gonna spike back up.
Okay. I'll report back.
I think Dan's enjoying my knowledge. Dan's like, I have really educational podcasts lined up, and then Adam shows up.
This podcast is definitely still educational.
It is.
How many
You guys are learning a lot.
our viewer is going to try this and maybe comment on our page?
Hey, we got 4 subscribers.
We do?
Yeah.
4? I didn't know we had 4.
Yeah.
Did you just make that
Gotta
up?
work on that website, man.
All right. That's 3 more subscribers than I thought we had.
Boom.
We're popping off.
All right, so I hand it back to you, my good friend. That's
all right,
I
so
have other stuff, but let's go.
Since we're on, we'll do the shower thoughts portion. So before we do the catch up, which we have a bunch of things to catch up on, I had a similar thought. So Lauren, after we were traveling for a while, she accidentally said needed to eat her wine, and it made me think: why do we say drink wine, but eat soup when they're the same texture? Like, you don't drink soup.
You could.
But you don't say that.
I've seen people drink soup. I've drank soup.
Is it like food, like a food? Does it have to be like nutritional
I think
to
it's
be
more
something you can eat?
Oh wait, that's a question. Okay, so would it be more? Oh, I hit the computer. Would it be more of a consistency thing, depending on the consistency you drink it, or is it more of the action that you're doing? Right? Technically, you could drink cereal. You could.
But you have to chew it. You drink the milk.
Do you? If you leave it in the milk long enough, it becomes like soft, right? Like Captain Crunch. You leave that in more than 34 seconds, it's baby food.
I think it's the act of like something that we consider food we eat and something we consider like non-nutritional, like wine or water we drink. And I think that's a general rule. And so even like tomato soup, you still eat instead of drink.
Tomato soup, you still eat? Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, I don't like it.
And then there's like I had in my brain, I was like, well, maybe it's a chewing motion can help define it. But then like, you don't chew ice cream, you still eat ice cream, you know?
Yeah, you can. Yeah, sorry, folks, that was a long pause.
Adam was pondering.
Yeah, I mean, I eat ice cream because if I get like chocolate chip cookie dough or something like that, you got to chew on it.
You just let the cookie dough chunks slide down your throat?
No. I don't like to sit there and go, am I going to choke this time? No, hey, look, I made it.
All right, on to other things. So let's do some catching up. So now you're just drinking whiskey.
Mm-hmm. How's my goal?
We drank some whiskey last night, and I'm not drinking whiskey today as a result.
What did you drink?
What did we drink or who?
Yeah. Real quick, what did you drink?
So we had some people over, and we were talking about rice washing. And so
became a party trick. Okay.
And so we decided to do rice washing, and all I had was Maker's Mark, which is not as smooth as Basil, hidden. And so we rice washed it, and honestly, it worked better for Maker's Mark, because I think part of why we hated it so much is Basil Hayden is already so smooth that like you basically numbed something that didn't need to be numbed. But it did a decent job cutting the Maker's Mark sharpness. Mm-hmm. And it brought it to a level that was more normal. And so like it still was a little flat, but like because there's usually so much burn on Maker's Mark anyway, I was kind of okay with that flatness.
Did it come out same like kind of color like that, like
yes.
Sewer water?
It looked like toilet water.
No, I wonder. Yeah, I wonder if it has to do with anything like that. If you guys didn't watch episode 4, one before this, we did an experiment.
Our conclusion was failure.
Yeah, we didn't really like it. But like we said, I mean, we were using really good bourbon. So
which we will one of these days. We're going to be sponsored by them. You got to speak it.
I'm going to send them over the video. We're probably going to get sued, but let's do it. All right. So you drank. So what happened? So you didn't just do obviously you didn't just do
no, and then we drank a bunch of it.
Then you drank a bunch of it. Yeah. And then Dan woke up and was like, fuck my life.
Pretty much.
Okay. Well, that's cool. You had people over though.
Yeah. It was good.
Was there an occasion or?
Nope.
Just people to come over?
They were around town shopping, and then We're like, hey, want to come over? And they said, yeah.
Wow. Nobody does that with me. Nobody.
Like,
Yeah, I'm talking to you, one viewer. You
okay.
Okay, we were really busy yesterday, so it's totally fine. No, that's cool though.
You got to bring something to the table. So I cooked dinner. So they came over and I made carbonara.
I'm sorry. What are you saying, Dan? You saying I don't bring something to the table?
I don't know.
What do you
I
say?
mean,
My fucking personality brings me to the table.
sit back and think real long and hard. What are you bringing to the table?
You name it. You know, I can order food for you, whatever you need.
All right. Not speaking of which, I'm gonna grab another beer and then we can get into catching up because I got baby shower, we got reunion, and then Chicago, LA,
Right. Okay.
a couple things. All right.
Yeah.
I'm gonna get beer full.
Okay.
And then I'll be right back.
Okay. You think Dan would learn not to leave me alone with you guys? How's everybody doing? If you've made it this far, episode 5, God, do we appreciate you guys. This is good. Puppy. So I'm still working on that website. So you guys put your orders in, what kind of shirts and stuff you want. It's going to be branded. You know, I'll try to personalize it for you guys. Should we pull out a... No, I won't do that. What I could do is I could read the back of the bottle. There we go. How are we going to do this? Let's see. Government warning. According to the... No, that's boring. Distilled, bottled by the James B. Bean. What? This is Jim Bean? No. Claremont. Hey, Dan.
Hey!
Hold on a second. Do me a favor. Do you a little Google thing.
What am I Googling?
Basil Hayden Jim Bean?
I don't know.
Look it up.
I'm looking it up.
Look it up.
Basil Hayden's is the lightest bodied bourbon whiskey in the family of Jim Beam small batch bourbons.
Holy shit!
We could be sponsored by Jim Beam?
That is funny. So I was reading the back of the bottle and it said distilled and bottled by James B. Bean Distillery. And I was like, whoa, wait a second. So this is a Jim Bean bourbon.
Yeah, I guess so.
So who's Basil and Hayden? Wow, it says it right on the front of the bottle, dude.
Wow. So it says here that the bourbon brand was introduced in 1992 and is named in honor of Basil Hayden Sr. Hayden was a distiller, and he used a larger amount of rye in his mash than in some other bourbons. Later, his grandson, Raymond B. Hayden, founded a distillery in Nelson County and named the label Old Grandad in honor of his grandfather. When Beam Industries introduced their small batch collection of bourbon brands, among the 4 was Basil Hayden's. The company says it used a mash identical to Knob Creek, which is similar to that originally utilized by Hayden in 1792. That was a lot of words that didn't really describe what it was all about, but...
No, but it's part of the family. So Basil Hayden is an actual descendant.
No, he was one of the original distillers.
With Jim Bean and branched off?
No, his son, the story didn't need the son part because it's not like they bought his company or some shit like that.
Anyway, a really nice Jim Bean. Wow.
You learn something new every freaking day.
Jesus Christ. It says it twice on the front.
I've never read it.
It says it on the neck, the front. They're like, hey, by the way, this is Jim Bean, just in case. And we're like, wow, we found something fancy. Anyway, if I keep doing bourbon with all these podcasts, they're going to be off the rails. I just want you to know that.
I'm here for that ride.
All right. What beer are you drinking? Is it the same one?
Yeah, it's the same one, but agita again. So I did the pour thing.
Experiment time. Go grab some mustard.
Is it instant, though, or is it like later that day? Like, I don't want to be burping mustard for this whole podcast.
You love mustard, though. It's fine.
I do love mustard. I used to make mustard sandwiches. You remember that?
What is
it? Well, I mean, when we were like down the shore and like we had run out of food late night,
you did.
I would take a piece of like white bread and just put a whole lot of mustard on it and fold it up and eat it
Just
like
eat
a sandwich.
It. Yeah.
Sometimes
That's
even
right.
open-faced. I didn't even toast the bread.
Forgot about it.
It was literally just like a delivery vehicle for mustard.
And you know what?
I love mustard. I mean, in our fridge right now, I have like Dijon, stone ground, yellow, Holman's yellow, so like the UK mustard,
Okay.
spicy brown, honey,
And
mustard.
none of them are expired.
No,
All
because
good.
I
Okay.
use them regularly.
Okay. Could
There's
be
like
why you have a hot cheddar.
a French country Dijon, which is a great one because it's kind of like a cross between Dijon mustard and like the ones with like the seeds still. So it's like a seedy French Dijon. So good. See, I have like 6 or 7 different kinds of mustards in my fridge right now.
Right. Do it.
I still have to eat dinner tonight.
All right. All right. Talk to me about your trick.
Yes. So I mean, I guess we can jump into the baby shower.
Yeah.
Okay. So we flew in on like Thursday night or something like that. We were staying at Lauren's parents' house.
Right. Yeah.
You know, did a few things, hung out, whatever, and then we drove up from Eastern Pennsylvania. But it was lovely. I must say, the Harry Potter theme was awesome. You guys killed it. I mean, literally, you had on the table for gifts, there was the Quidditch rings, all handmade and spray painted.
Which I made.
Every place setting had a snitch on it, a Ferrero Rocher with some wings on it. Perfect snitch.
Right?
That was like such a genius idea. That was legit. And then all the games and things were themed and I mean, it was like 100% pro. Like, looked like you guys had a wedding planner put together your baby shower. Very impressed.
Thank you.
I'm very impressed.
Yeah, that was just me and Libby. That's me and Libby's
I don't know where you
brainchild.
guys found the time.
We didn't. We just did it. I had to build so much. So I had to build the rings. I had to build the honeydukes. It was like the sign by the candy. Made that. We had to like I had to glue the wings on the keys, and then glue those to the name cards. Yeah. So that's awesome.
Which was very cool.
Thank you. I really appreciate that. You don't think it was overkill?
No, it's perfect.
It's pretty good. Okay.
It was awesome.
That's what Sammy said. She's like, you guys did a nice, tasteful job. She's like, because she was like, with a theme like this, you could easily go overboard and make it feel like a kid's birthday party.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, yeah, no, I could totally see that. So awesome. No, you guys come down
for a kid anyway.
So yeah, like, but it's like pre-kid. I don't know. It's like
he's negative 2 months old.
Negative 2 months. No, the fact that you guys were able to come was amazing. You know,
it was good.
You're my oldest friend. You know, Libby loves Lauren. You know, obviously we wish you guys were closer and stuff like that. So the fact that you guys could be there for that moment was it was awesome. We were so happy.
We could be there.
The fact, wait, hold on. The fact that you didn't tell your mom, that was awesome.
I think we damn near gave her a heart attack.
Because I wish I saw that.
We live a 6-hour flight away, and my mom was already there when we got there, and we walked in, and Lauren was ahead of me, and I was behind, and I think Libby saw her first and came up and gave Lauren a hug. And then my mom, who was like 6 feet behind Libby, looked over at Lauren, and I saw her face like trying to like calculate what was going on.
Yep, yeah.
And was like, you know, because like you don't expect it'd be like me going to the supermarket out here in California and randomly like turning the corner and you're standing there. Like, in what world should that be happening?
She was processing the fact that this woman looks like Lauren. Like, how is that even possible? Yeah.
And then she looks over and like I see her like lock eyes with me, and she was just like
it's awesome.
It was such a surprise. It was so fun.
That's amazing. It was so good. No, but it worked out perfectly. It was amazing.
Lauren, for a second, was like, well, what if like she doesn't go because she doesn't know we're going or something like that? And I was like, I don't know. Like, it's like mom number 2 to Adam.
Mm-hmm.
I don't see that happening. She'll be there.
Yeah. No, I'm glad she came too. She is. She's mom them too. I told her that. I always told her that. And you guys came back afterwards. Yeah, which was cool. How was the drive home?
It
I
wasn't
know
too
you
bad.
guys stayed a little later.
Yeah, it wasn't too bad. It was fine.
Okay, good. Okay, can you do me a favor? You don't have to say it out loud. Can you see who's subscribed to us? I know 3 of us,
So there's 4.
and I know 3 of us. One of them's Libby.
One of them's Lauren.
Okay, so that's probably the 4th one. Lauren, me, and then our
I don't
lone
think so.
subscriber.
Yeah, I don't think I can see that. Okay,
Well,
so
hey guys, if you're viewing, I mean, spread the word. We don't mind. It's just me and Dan doing our thing. We're old buddies, we're old friends. We've been around for a long time. We're old.
we are.
We're old. All right, so we did the baby shower. I'm glad you guys enjoyed it. All right, and you guys also did the reunion.
Actually, hold on. One more thing. So
okay, I'm sorry. I'm
in
brushing.
the baby shower, there was the bowl of jelly beans.
Yeah, fucking did.
And there was you had to guess how many jelly beans were in the bowl, and I was only 7 off.
7 off. He was 7 off, guys. So the number count, right? Just so you know, and I counted them out, was 9 3/4. Right? Go with the platform. So 934.
Yes.
This fucking guy. Dan, how did you figure out so that you could only be 7 off?
So I guessed 926, I think. I mathed it. So I counted how many there was in one row, and then I counted how many rows there were.
Mm-hmm.
And the bowl was circular, so I kind of flubbed a few things here and there. And I came to the conclusion that it was between 900 and 950. And so that I did 926. And if I had known that platform 9 3/4, 934 could have been like, of course, the number has something to do with Harry Potter. I was right in that range. I would have been like, oh, I'll just do 934. I think in Libby's face, if I got the exact number, would have been hilarious.
Well, we had a blank check for $1,000 for whoever guessed exactly. We were going to give $1,000.
But what you did give me was a
Was
lottery ticket, a scratch off, $10.
Shut up.
Yeah.
See, $1,000 minus.
Yeah, so we can't cash it because it's for New Jersey.
Yeah, you can.
What do you mean?
You can.
I can't cash it in California.
Sure, you can.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
No.
I think
it doesn't work that way.
Yeah, I think because New Jersey is part of the national lottery system, I think you can.
Really?
That was a mouthful. Look it up.
Can I cash a
New Jersey lottery ticket in California? Wait, you got to look up scratch off. Scratch off is different. If you flew to Jersey and got a pick 9 or something like that, then you can't cash that. But I think a scratch off, because it's nationwide, I think you can.
No, you're lying. You're not lying. You're just wrong.
Wow, Jesus, am I?
Tickets can only be claimed in the state they were bought in.
What kind of ticket? Did you do scratch off?
Yeah, so it says.
I don't believe it.
You can get your money if you mail it to them, but no store in California is going to give you money for this.
I believe that. Actually, I do believe that 100%. But I'm going to Google it. I'm going to Google it in the Jersey site because we have better internet. Hold on, folks. Can I cash my scratch off anywhere? That's the first one. Let's see. If your prize is worth $599.99 or less, you can receive your winnings in cash in any New Jersey. Oh, wait a second. Hold on. I can't be confident in that.
I'm confident that you are wrong.
No, hold on. Okay, hold on. I am confident that you are most likely right. I spelled state wrong and I put state. If your prize is in this is old New Jersey. All right, you're probably right. We'll just go with Dan. He's smarter than me. That's why I stuck around.
I looked it up.
I looked it up too, but you have a computer. You have the smarter system.
Anywho, all right, moving on. Reunion. So that was the Saturday before the baby shower. It was actually a lot of fun.
By
You
the way,
know,
side note, Dan and I went to the same school, never had a reunion.
mm-mm.
We've passed 20,
We're at
right?
21 now.
We're at 21. We've passed it, never had one. Don't know why. All right, go ahead, keep going.
But yeah, no, it was this. So this was Lauren's 20th, and it was actually kind of fun. A lot of the people that were there, Lauren knew in high school and was close with, but hadn't seen in a long time. Most people were adults, you know, and had like become normal human beings and were not the, you know, whatever the stereotypes or whatever they were in high school,
Okay.
which was
So like
nice.
kids and all that stuff.
They got kids, they got houses and jobs,
Okay.
and the swellage was actually more minimal than I thought. Most people didn't swell too much, like in size.
That's a kudos. That's a really nice way to say that. Okay, so that's good. Okay, so they haven't had a lot of salt in their diet. Okay.
Yes, yes. It was funny though. There was one person there that was like, you ever see Grosse Point Blank? And there's like that football player and like the head cheerleader, and they got married, and he's like drunk the whole time and making a fool of himself.
Mm-hmm.
Clear, like the stereotype of like the one guy that peaked in high school and didn't, you know, ever move on from that. That actually happened at this reunion. Like literally there was one guy, and like the second I met him, I was like, man, this guy's and basically everybody I spoke to was like, yeah, he hasn't changed at all since high school. And he was on the football team, married to his high school sweetheart. They got like 3 kids. He was hammered the whole time. We went to like an after party at like a bar in town.
So you're telling me it was like just friends?
Just Friends?
No.
Oh, I've
Just
seen that
Friends.
movie. That's the
you
one
seen
with
that
Ryan
movie?
Reynolds. Ryan
Yeah,
Reynolds? Yeah.
with the fucking, he comes back and they're in the bar and the fucking guy, he's still wearing his varsity jersey.
Yeah. There was
Just like that.
It was so funny because most of the people had like become fully functioning adults, and that little microcosm of that guy and his wife, like it was so stereotypical you couldn't write it any better.
Did
It was
she
crazy.
also go to school with Lauren, or is she somebody just random?
No, like they were dating in high school.
No.
Yeah. Like
Yo,
she was there and everybody
that's
knew her
crazy.
too. Yeah.
You ever hear like psychiatrists, right? They're like, oh, you know, some people get stuck
Mhm.
at an age.
Yeah.
Like that
Like-
just goes
like
along
he-
with it.
Like I started talking to him at one point after he was pretty drunk, and like you could tell he like thought he was better than me. Like just because of like who he was in high school.
That's so sad.
Yeah, it was.
That's so sad. Did Lauren have fun stories about him from high school?
She didn't know him very well,
No.
or really at all. So not really, no.
Well, that makes sense. I mean, at an Amish school, you know, you mainly like, you do like half day farming, half day like.
She was not Amish. She did live in the Amish area though. It was kind of nice actually being back at her parents'. You
They're
know,
at the
we
same
went,
place, right?
yeah,
They never
they're
moved.
still in the same place. And one of the days we were there, we went to the corn maze, which was fun.
I saw that, you know.
We shot potatoes into like they had a potato launcher thing, and it was fun.
What? That's awesome.
Got some pizza. The only thing I regret was we landed in Philly. We rented a car. We were driving to her parents' house. And literally, like, we're driving and, like, we're on the road. Like, if I took a pit stop 15 minutes, I could have gotten a Philly cheesesteak. And we landed too early. It was, like, 9 a.m. or something, and none of the shops were open. I so wanted to, like, go in and, like, you know, hit up, like, D'Alessandro's or something and grab, like, 5 cheesesteaks and bring them with us.
Good Philly cheese, yeah.
Breaks my heart.
What's that movie? I forget the movie quote, but it's like, you know, you got a good Philly cheesesteak if it's bleeding through the bag, the brown bag.
Yeah. Well, and the thing too, which is, like, they make cheesesteaks out here in California, but the bread, it's like 50% of the cheesesteak is the bread. like what makes a good
Yeah.
cheesesteak. It's like
Yeah.
that Amoroso roll, or like it's a good sub roll where it's got some chew to it and there's a little bit of crust, but it's still soft enough.
Mm-hmm.
So like you can put this greasy, cheesy thing in it, and it holds up and doesn't disintegrate,
It
but
doesn't just soak it up. It doesn't
but also
just
doesn't
soak up.
just.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I swear, in California, they don't make that bread. Like
Yeah. It's the
I could
water.
make.
It's the water, man. I swear to dude, I'm telling you, it was on Entourage. I'm telling you.
It's not just the water. I mean, I think it's just people don't demand it here.
Yeah.
Like a lot of things, like like pizza. Like there's places that are have great toppings and they're making their own sausage and salamis and they're using the best flour and whatever. But then like they just cook it wrong because like and there isn't the people here that know the difference, and so they stay in business without having without doing it correctly. Like I can go to the supermarket, or I can go to a bakery and whatever, and that kind of bread that I'm looking for doesn't exist. It's not even like they're making the Italian loaf and they're making it poorly. There just isn't like a semolina loaf,
Right.
or something like that. And it's so frustrating because like I could even buy my own steak and make cheesesteaks at home, but like where am I going to get the bread?
Let me know, man. I'll fucking air freight you some bread.
I mean, last time we came back,
I'm serious. Like,
you brought. It's a good point though. Last time we came to New Jersey, we brought 24 bagels back in our luggage.
yeah.
So we came with this huge bag that was only half full, and on the way back there was 24 bagels in it. I should bring a bunch of loaves back.
Seriously,
Like
let me know.
Go to a bakery and get like fucking 10 loaves and just whole second suitcase, just bread.
Man, I'll seriously, I'll ship it out to you. Just let me know what kind of bread you want. Dan, let me tell you something.
But
It'll tickle my soul to give you guys some fucking good bagels, okay? Because that is an atrocity. I mean, look, I love you, California, and if we ever get subscribers from California, I love you guys. But your bread fucking sucks.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, they do good sourdough, but that's about it.
Yes, they do amazing sourdough. That is correct.
Their sandwich, like their like bread that you have to slice and make a sandwich with. Great. Any sort of roll,
Bagel,
roll,
Yeah.
baguette. They're failing left and right.
I've told you the story before, but when we left you guys last time and we stopped at, now it's the airport, I know, but we were like, I need something. I'm going to get a bagel. And the bagel was this fucking thin. I was like, I'm sorry. Do you have one that wasn't run over by a car? Just out of curiosity, because this thing, what is this? That's how thin it was. And they're like, yeah, it's a bagel. I'm like, it's not a fucking...
I know. And the SFO airport's a pretty good airport. Like they have some nice restaurants and stuff too.
Mm-hmm. They had good coffee, I'll tell you that much.
They do have good coffee.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So that's yeah. So I'll say this. I'm jealous that Lauren got to do a reunion.
Me too. I feel like we need one.
I would like to see everyone, like I follow Alex, Christina, what I'm talking about, right? Bern. And I see the kids, and I'm like, wow, they got, she's got 3 kids, she got 3 boys, so and so, she's got a kid. I would love to hear about that,
Mm-hmm.
I would love to. And like I said in one of the podcasts, you and I were popular in the sense that we weren't the popular kids, but we knew everybody. You know what I mean? Like I knew the grunge kids, I knew the theater kids, I knew the football guys, you knew the soccer guys, you knew the math nerds because Dan is ridiculously smart. I'm like, Dan, 2 + 2 is 7, right? He's like, Adam, God bless your soul.
You're pretty though. You're pretty.
She's so pretty, Adam. No, you know what I mean? Like, it would be nice. It would be nice to see everybody.
It would be. And
it's fine. It's cool.
We had a pretty small class too. And so like, I feel like there wasn't a whole lot of bullshit. Like, I think we kind of all knew each other, and there's nobody where like, I'd be going back and be like, oh, that person,
No, and what's funny is that if I remember correctly, like we all kind of looked out for each other. Like in a sense, I remember I was talking to somebody in the hallway and something happened. I got pissed off. I was like, are you fucking kidding me? And I punched the locker, right? Because I was like, something stupid happened. Like, I don't know, maybe something went wrong. Austin was walking by and he stopped, he turned and he grabbed me. And he was like, dude, you're okay? You're right? And he was like 100% dead serious. He's like, "You're right." He
Mhm.
like gave me a little bit of a hug. He's like, "You're right, man. What's up? What's going on?" I was like, "Oh no, nothing." I was like, it's just this stupid bull." He's like, "All right, you sure? You want to talk?" I'm like, "No, no, I'm good. I'm good." He's like, "All right, just making sure." And he went on, and I went on. Like that's the kind of class we had.
Yeah. And you guys weren't best friends or good
No, we
friends
weren't
even.
best friends. We were on the football team, but we weren't best friends. We got
Yeah.
along, we joked around and stuff. But like, yeah, he could easily just kept walking by. Like he dead stop. What's going on, dude? So it'd be nice.
It would be fun. And I know you're supposed to do them on like the even numbers, 5, 10, 15, 20. But like, I don't know, maybe we should like do one at 23.
Jordan's number.
There you go. All right. What else I got on my list? Anything
You
else
got
to
a
catch
lot.
up on?
You did a lot of traveling.
I
We're on
did.
hour 9.
After we left you guys, we were home for like a few days, and then Lauren went to a conference in Chicago, and I went to a conference in LA, which was actually pretty interesting. So we were in Koreatown. That's where our hotel was. And we went to really, really good Korean barbecue where they cook on the grills, like right at the table. So freaking good. A lot of soju, which is like this kind of like rice wine that they
Okay.
have in Korea. Drank a lot of that. It was, lots of like thinly shaved ribeye steak and spicy stuff and fried rice and all sorts of yummies. It was good. So then I flew from LA to Chicago on Lauren's last day of her conference, and then we stayed for like 4 days. Chicago is a fun city.
That's what I heard. I want to go.
Well, so Lauren lived there for 2 years during grad school. So she did her grad school there, and so we know the city, and we've always wanted to go back with him and back since.
Was it weird for her? Was she like, "Wow, this is weird to be back," or like, was she like,
No,
"Fuck
it was
yeah, let's
good.
do it"?
Honestly, I think the biggest thing was we were worried that like maybe it was fun because we were in college or something, and that like the city isn't that cool or it's not that clean, and we just had lower standards. But no, it was awesome. It was really great. Great public transit. We went to the Shed Aquarium. We're big aquarium folks. They had a touch tank for Steve Irwin stingrays. So like these big stingrays, they're probably like 3 feet, 2 feet, 2.5 feet across. And when you go in, they give you food like shrimp or like cut up fish, and they let you feed them. And they have these like crazy mouths that like open up. There's like on the bottom.
Wait, stingrays? Which one? Stingrays not the horseshoe crab. That has the hard shell. Stingray is the one that kind of looks like a diamond, right?
Yeah, and they flap their wings.
Yeah, they flap and they have the mouth underneath.
Yeah. So when they told you to feed them, they said, don't hold the shrimp like this because your thumb will be exposed, and they like to bite thumbs. So you actually hold it and go like this. And man, were they right, because that thing was like just tearing the shrimp out of my hand, and like if my thumb was out, he'd think that was food too. It was a very weird experience, but it was a lot of fun.
That's cool.
Yeah, so we did that. Went to what the hell is the name of it? Field Museum.
The field, yeah.
And it's the one that has like that dinosaur, what's her name, is like the most complete Tyrannosaurus Rex skeleton ever found.
Is that where the night at the museum takes place? Was that New York?
I think that was the New York National History Museum.
Okay.
Natural History Museum, yeah. But yeah, so it was really cool. We'd never been to the Field Museum in all the time we were in Chicago. It was very, very good. They had really great dinosaur, or not just dinosaur, but like through the eras of the different parts of Earth and the Jurassic period just being one small one, and lots of learning. It was fun.
No, that's cool.
Yeah. We went
a good museum is really fun.
I love a good museum.
Right? Like a good museum can be really, really fun. And a bad museum where it's like, you just like, all right, let me just
sucks.
Fucking blow through this. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's cool, man.
We, every time they're like, you go online, it's like, oh, this museum or this aquarium should take 2 to 3 hours. We're like, all right, 4. We're slow in a museum. We always take our time. But But yeah, it was
Libya
really
the
good.
same way. We should go to a museum together.
That would be fun.
That would.
What museums can we go to? Next time you come out here, we have some good ones in San Francisco we can go to.
Do you?
Yeah. Yeah, there's one
Okay.
called the California Academy of Sciences,
Okay.
and it's like a natural history museum as well as an aquarium portion, a planetarium,
Okay.
and a rainforest like pod thing. So it's like kind of like
Yeah.
4 museums in one. It's awesome.
That's cool.
We've been there a couple times.
That's awesome.
But yeah, so we did the museums. We got some Chicago deep dish pizza. We went to the original Pizzeria Uno.
Oh.
So we have like Uno, New Jersey, whatever. That's all chains. This one is
Yeah.
the actual one, and it hasn't changed since they've opened.
Wow.
And really, really good.
So they haven't like cleaned out the deep fryer. They haven't like.
No, not at all. It's probably
Something
fingers
original.
and toes in there and rats. But no, apparently like there's Giordano's, there's Gino's, there's Lou Malnati's, there's Pequod's, there's all the different ones. And Uno is the only one that really has like restaurants elsewhere outside of Chicago. And I was reading a thing and it's saying that, the ones outside that are the chain ones, they don't have to follow the same recipes. They can have a different menu. They basically like can kind of operate on their own. Whereas this one is still as though there wasn't a chain. It's like the way it always was.
That would be. Have you been to Uno outside of that? That'd be interesting.
Like how
there's a
crappy is the...
Yeah, there's one
Yeah.
on Route 3. Next time you're home, if you have time,
May we go.
we should go. And I
'Cause
would
it
love.
was
I would love to
so
know
good.
the difference because I'm sure Uno Chicago, the authentic, is
Mhm.
probably so good.
Mm-hmm.
And then you're gonna get like, it's like TGI Fridays kind of thing. It's so chained.
Yeah.
That's cool though.
And it's where we grew up in New Jersey, it's not pizza. Let's get that right. But
no, it's not. No.
the thing that
It's a pie.
this pie casserole thing is just so good. And we got one with a couple different toppings. So we did sausage, pepperoni, onion, and black olive. And what they did is they break up the sausage, and that's the bottom layer.
Okay.
Then they put the cheese down. Then they put the sauce, and then they topped it with the pepperoni, onion, and olive. So you
Wow.
kind of had this like so good, so
Do
good.
you ever think maybe that's why you have agita?
This was like 3 weeks ago.
It might still linger, man.
It's still in there.
Nah, that's
So
cool.
that was really good. We had a good Italian dinner one night. So actually a lot of good Italian food in Chicago. I'm kicking myself. I didn't get an Italian beef, like Al's Italian beef or something. We just didn't have the time. We did get a Chicago.
Wait, hold on.
dog.
Wait, explain that for a second, real quick. What do you mean, Al's Italian beef?
So
I
Chicago's
don't know that.
famous for like this roasted beef that's then sliced super thin, and then they have it sitting in like an au jus, and then you get a
Okay.
good roll, and they take like this wet, warm beef and just pack it into a roll,
Okay.
and then put like giardiniera on it, and it's just tender and beefy and a little spicy from the giardiniera.
And then nothing, no kind of sauce, nothing like that. Just because it's all juiced up. That
Yeah.
sounds good.
It's like a French dip on steroids.
Wow, that sounds good.
Yeah, it's so
Okay. I didn't know. That sounds amazing. What is it called?
just Italian beef.
No, but what do they call it? You said name.
Al's Italian beef is that what it?
I guess that's what you said. No, you said
Al's
it's-
Italian beef.
I get maybe that's what you said. Yeah.
It's
I
like
know.
one of the famous ones in Chicago is Al's.
Interesting.
It's like it's to Chicago what like the cheesesteak is to Philly.
Wow, that's cool. I would have to. I've never been to Chicago. I'd love to go. Windy City. I heard it's not as bad as it used to be. Right back in like '90s, it was like pretty rough.
So in terms of, I mean, there is a lot of crime in Chicago, but it's very much like New York City. It's street to street. So like if you know where to go, there's absolutely beautiful, gorgeous places. Then you can go 2 blocks over, and it's like that's where the gangs run things, and so like don't go there.
Right. Yeah. Okay.
So all right. Side note: in Chicago, if you ever want to spice up your marriage,
Kids, close your ears.
see,
Huh?
come across your wife in like boss mode. So I landed on Monday morning, like 6
Okay.
a.m. And I took the train to Lauren's hotel for the last day of her conference. And I walk in and she's all decked out, like, skirt, suit, flowy shirt, jacket,
Dad's like,
like,
hello.
and I was like, damn, it's a good look. It's a good look.
Did you hear that, Lauren? It's a good look.
Yeah. Yeah. Decked out in conference gear is a, maybe I like a strong woman,
Keep going. Keep going. Good. Keep this moving.
keep her moving. All right. Anywho. Yeah. So fun tip, kids.
Fun tip gets when you hit 40. It's that conference. It really gets you going. It's it. Yeah, no. Crying. All right. I'm not crying. You're crying.
All right.
Okay.
So I might grab one more beer and then we'll hit like the last few topics and then we're good to go.
Yeah, man.
All right. Let me grab another beer.
Yeah. All right. So last pause, we were surprised about Basil Aiden, but happy about it. All right. So you know what? Here's one. Let's throw it back to you guys. Throw in the comments, some kind of topics that you want or questions you have about, I don't know, universe, how it works, things that don't make sense, Yeah, just throw it down in the comment section and we'll take a look at it and we'll address them on the next podcast. Could be anything, whatever you guys. Oh, here comes Dan. Hi, Dan.
See you talking.
What?
We're recording this, right?
What? What?
Moving on. So,
the problem with drinking bourbon instead of a beer? You can keep more track of like the beer. You could be like, oh, I have like 2 beers that I emptied out. Okay, I should probably stop. When you do the finger measuring, right, which is like bartender trick, you could lie. You could be like, oh, that's a finger. And you're like up here,
Lauren's dad used to have a joke where he'd go like 2 fingers, I think, because considered like a shot or something in a small.
Yeah, 2 fingers. Yeah.
And he'd go, be like, do you want a drink? Be like, yeah, sure, 2 fingers. And he'd go like this.
I approve. I approve this message. 2 fingers. Look at that. Look at that. 2 fingers. That's a 2 finger right there. Fucking take it to the face. All right, what do we got? Let's do the fun thing. Oktoberfest. No, Oktoberfest was awesome. I thought I talked to you about this, and I didn't, and I'm sorry about that. So, 3
I would have
years
flown
ago.
in for it. Come on.
Don't fucking do that to me, dude, because I'll tell you next year. It's yearly.
Actually, let me know.
Really?
We do come back periodically for things. You never know.
That'd be awesome.
Like you weren't even going to tell us about the baby shower until we asked. So like, if we know these things are happening, we can say no. But if it works out, then it works out.
You're right. No, you're right. We should definitely let you guys know. At least like, hey, heads up, just so you know. Just know, like, if we do let you know, absolutely no pressure whatsoever. No pressure whatsoever. But yeah, I mean, dude, if you came, you would have a blast.
What do you do? Is there games?
We do it all. Yeah, there's games. Oh, little backstory. Let's say this. Little backstory. 3 years ago, me, Drew, and Chris were like, dude, we should do an Oktoberfest. Let's go find an Oktoberfest. Like, let's just fucking do something. Like we were like getting like stir crazy because nothing was going on. So we started looking around, and it's like you could go to like the town Oktoberfest. They have Budweiser, maybe a Sam seasonal, and then like Coors Light, Bud Light. Okay, maybe a couple food trucks that you don't trust, right? I mean, and there's some stuff with kids, maybe some games. It's in the middle of a park. You're like, okay, is there anything better? And then I started finding these like really nice ones in like Hohokus, Upper Saddle River. One of them was like in New York. So I would send it to everybody. I'm like, yo, hey guys, what about this? And then we do research and we're like, oh, you need a $150 ticket to get in. But a $150 ticket pays for like really gourmet food, gives you the good beer, some Oktoberfest, some, Hofenbrau, stuff like that. There's games for the kids, and it is usually like that. It's usually at like a golf resort. So like Crystal Springs had one again, like $150. We're like, dude, $150 per ticket. That's insane. So I finally sent a text and I was like, do you guys just want to do it at the fucking house? Why don't we do it at the house? Everybody grab a whole bunch of different fucking beer, grab whatever beers you guys want to try, and I'll make fucking flights. And they're like, yeah, let's do it. So like everybody, Chris, Drew, Mike, significant others, right? So that first year, I was like, dude, if we're gonna do this, we're doing it right. So I found there's a place down in Hawthorne that gets a lot of pallets. They're like big equipment, so they get a lot of really nice, good wood pallets, not like the cheap stuff where like there's holes. So I ran there. Luckily, they were doing a dump day, and by their garbage, they had these beautiful pallets with this beautiful fucking wood, and I was like, hey man, score. So I grabbed like 3 pallets, I throw them in the truck, I bring them home, I chop up the pallets, I make my own, like, remember like the paddle from like from school where you had like almost like the
Like a Shatsky?
is that what it's called?
What you mean,
Freshman
though? Like,
paddle. The freshman paddle. Where you smack them in the ass.
we never did that.
I know you never did, but you know what I'm talking about. Like
I
from the
do,
movies.
yes.
Right,
Yes,
the freshman
yes.
paddle. What is that? What is that from? What sport is that from?
I
What's
don't
the
think
paddle
it's from a
from?
sport. It's like,
They hit the ball anyway. So I essentially made these paddles, which I would
it's
run
like
down
from
and show.
Dazed and Confused.
Yeah, exactly.
All
Yes,
right.
yes, yes. So I made these paddles, and then I ran to one of the shops on 17, and they had these perfect, beautiful, like 1 ounces, right? Just like you see it like any flight, anytime you get a flight. And I was like, give me 3 boxes, and it was the last 3 boxes they had, and it was it perfect. People brought beer in, we lay out the beer in the coolers. I get bratwurst, we get kielbasa, so Libby cooks the kielbasa. We do
Are you dropping
fries.
the A in kielbasa?
What's kielbasa, Dan?
It's not an Italian word.
So when you're Italian, you can make anything Italian. You know,
Like, if you're
sometimes you
saying
have the kielbasa with the prosciutto. Okay,
Shoot, yeah, I get that. But you're Italianifying a German word.
yeah, I cut the rest of it out. It doesn't matter.
Bass.
The kielbasa, the kielbasa. The kielbasa. So yeah, so that's what we do. So that's what so we did the first year. We had a blast. So we did the second year, blast. So this is the third year we did it. But yes, this time we did tater tots, because you always need a little tater tots.
Mm-hmm.
And then I cook up sausages.
Nice.
Brats.
You should do
I cook brats. So like I'll do like the main meat. Because I
Meat
love
guy.
the main meat. I'm the meat guy. And then everybody will do the sides. So like Kara will make something, Tara will make something, Sammy makes the pretzels, and she does like the beer sauce, the beer mustard or whatever it is. Yeah, the beer cheese. Yeah, it's a lot of fun. And then we just hang out. We hang out and we drink it. So you said games. So I bring out horseshoes. Mike this time brought cane jam. Last time Chris brought this it's called Irish, I'm gonna get this wrong, Irish soda sticks or something like that. So it's like 2 sticks, you got a frisbee, same thing, 2 sticks though, you got a plastic fake beer on top.
Mm-hmm. Oh, on top. Yep.
You see that? Okay. Hey, he brought that last time.
That's a good one.
And then we get the fire pit going, we cook, drink.
Sounds
And you can do flights, awesome. You can just grab a beer if you want. I think Sammy and Josh just did wine. They were like, I don't feel like doing beer. I'm like, whatever you want. Whatever you guys want to do.
You should, if I come, I'll add Schnitzel to your menu.
Josh did Schnitzel 2 years ago.
Oh.
Really good.
It's like,
yeah.
So the one thing I learned when I was in Germany over the summer was they do not fuck around with their schnitzels. We ordered just at like we didn't go to anywhere special. It was just like a bar, and we sat down, and Lauren got the Vienna style schnitzel, which is a pork, and I got the regular one, which is veal. And It came, and I swear it was the size of a dinner plate. It was an aggressive amount of schnitzel, like huge, huge. Like I ate the whole thing out of sheer will, and it was like my only meal that day.
Yeah. There's a place down in Philly. Same thing. Because we were down in Philly for Drew's bachelor party 2 years ago. And we went to a German style beer garden.
Mm-hmm.
Same thing. Schnitzel was like, I think Josh got it. Huge.
I love it.
You know how to cook that?
Yep. I mean, it's basically the same as you'd make Italian cutlets. I'm really good at pounding my meat. Nobody pounds meat like me. Anyway, so basically, it's a schnitzel is not typically chicken, which is what we make cutlets out of. It's usually pork or veal, but it's got to be thin. And then usually the breading is not just like Italian breadcrumbs. It's usually like a little bit more coarse than that. If I made it at home, I'll mix like Italian style breadcrumbs with like panko and kind of like you get that combination. And that's part of the extra crispiness that you get.
Is panko different than Italian breadcrumbs?
Yeah. So panko is like Japanese style breadcrumbs. So they're bigger. So it's less powdered. It's more like jagged and the pieces are bigger.
Yeah. Because some of the recipes that we do, they'll call for the pankos, and I was like, oh yeah, I got the Italians. That's fine.
No,
so it's different.
I would use it.
It's actually different. Okay, I didn't know
It's much
that.
different. Yeah, they're bigger, and you end up with like a crunchier, lighter texture.
Wow.
So every culture has like their schnitzel. Schnitzel is not necessarily a dish. It's the way of cooking the meat. It's pounding meat thin, breading it, and frying it. That's schnitzel. It's almost like a verb. And then
so can you do that with any kind of meat?
You can schnitzel anything.
You can schnitzel. Okay, that's yeah. Okay.
And so like the Italian schnitzel is cutlets, chicken cutlets, and the German schnitzel is veal, and the Austrian schnitzel is pork, and when I was in Finland, I went out to a real traditional restaurant.
You've been to Finland?
Yeah. I was there 2 years ago. It was for work.
They do so much. You have no idea, guys.
I know.
I'm like, I'm going to try out this, new diner over in Waldwick, New Jersey. Dan's like, yeah, by the way, Alaska, they got really good fish.
I actually have flown on 25 planes this year. So like there and back
all
would
paid
be
for.
2. Well, some of it's my own, but yeah, most of it's paid for. Yeah, I've spent a lot of money on flying places this year.
Yeah, but you got awesome rewards, so
mm-hmm.
You got some banger rewards back.
Well, that's what we use to fly
back home and stuff.
Back home for the We usually awesome, when we're flying back home, we don't pay, which is a nice perk.
So good.
But anyway, Finland, they had this veal schnitzel, and being in the northern regions, fish is a big thing, and so they made this compound butter that was pureed capers.
Sorry, I got
Did you get them? Fuck yeah! How do you gotta moisturize your hands a little bit, man?
Hey now, hey.
I'm just saying that's a little rough looking.
Hey man, I literally cooked 2 meals. I did a lot of dishes. She did dishes. Okay, they're rough. Yes.
Yeah.
Welcome to America. I don't know what to tell you. Okay.
Gonna be using your dishwasher. Just saying. So anyway, they make a compound butter with like mashed up capers, anchovy, and lemon zest. And so basically like softened butter, and you mix all those things in, and then you make like a log that then you slice over. And so basically you have this hot, crispy schnitzel, and then you rub this butter, and it's like the butter gets in there, and the capers and the anchovy is kind of just like umami, and like the capers kind of bring like that brightness and a little bit of pickled flavor.
Mm-hmm.
And then the lemon is bright, and then they give you like a piece of lemon that you can squeeze over, and then they serve it next to arugula, which is like a little spicy. That flavor combination, I think about it all the time. It's the best. One of the best meals I've ever had. For sure, the best schnitzel.
Wow, that's awesome. I never had that.
So yeah, so what were we even talking?
Okay, so real quick, a normal neck does a C. right? So if you look, anybody, if you're listening, just watch real quick. So the C, right, should go from the spine and C up towards, like, let's just say like the nose, right? It does this C pattern. Okay. So it does a C. Yep. So look at Dan and then kind of C out to like your nose. Yeah. Right. So it should do this like kind of gradual kind of C. Mine, S. Okay. So it goes from the bottom of the spine and should do this kind of like C. And what it does, it at the end of the C, it curves back into the bottom of my skull, right? Which isn't normal, naturally. So I went to this really big practice. They have multiple locations. It's like one of those things, right? So after my incident, go to the hospital. They're like, you should see an orthopedist, blah, blah, blah. Here's the name. And I was like, I don't want to go to them. I want to go to this group because I know they're in town. I know they have a bunch of different locations around me. Go to that group. Wow, dude, this fucking group is like, talk about crossing every T and dotting every I. Amazing. Like if your insurance can handle it, it's amazing. So they did x-ray real quick first, just to see what was going on. Sat with the doctor, gave him brief history, so on and so forth. I had pinched nerves, this and that, this is what I did, and they're like, okay, well, right off the bat, we see this. Your neck is doing this kind of like S pattern, right? Which isn't normal. It should do a C. I'm like, okay, that's a problem. And they're like, what's happening is that at the base of your skull, there's a lot of tension. And what's happening is that the tension is pulling the bottom of your skull down, right? And it's kind of like it, if I'm being exaggerated, if anybody's watching, it's like, it's kind of like doing this, right? It's like my chin is going up and it's pulling down. There's a lot of tension going on there. And we're assuming that based on the tension and because it's pulling, it's probably causing a lot of numbness down your arm. Recently, I had a lot of numbness. It wasn't just fingers, right? Not typical carpal tunnel down the fingers. It hit my shoulder and then just wrapped underneath all the way down. I'm like, that's when I was like, this is bad. So
what do you do?
They want to send me to an MRI. I've never had an MRI. All the issues that I've had with my back, all the problems with MT medieval times, they would never give me an MRI. And the doctor was like stupid surprised by it. She's like, you've never had one? I said, no, they wouldn't process it. Got an MRI. Fast forward.
They didn't want to know.
They didn't want to know. Yeah. Or didn't want to pay for it. I don't know. So we get the MRI, not only on my neck, but my lower back, because what was going on with my lower back. Come to find out, so I have 2 discs in my neck that are slightly ajar. And with them being slightly ajar, it's most likely because of the pressure and the pulling and the tightness, and it's probably pinching the nerve, which is shooting down both my arms. Lower back on my between my L1 and L2, there's actually a rip in my disc. Yeah. So, but it's so minute, it's like really small. And she said, so because there's just a slight rip in your disc, what's happening is that your disc can bulge. She's like, think about, you go to Dunkin' Donuts, you pick up a jelly donut. I was like, okay. And she's like, and you know where the hole is, where they fill it in with the jelly? And I was like, uh-huh. She's like, think about, like, that's kind of your rip, that hole, right? And she's like, you have the jelly donut and it's in between your spine. And if it gets inflamed or there's too much going on, what happens is that it kind of pushes the jelly out. I'm like, okay, that sounds really bad.
Yeah, you want to keep your jelly.
You want to keep the jelly in, man. So
that sounds not ideal. So what do we do? What do we do about it?
So what do we do? So I asked her that. I said, is it something that's reversible? It's not. Sadly,
Right.
It's not.
Right.
But she said it's so minute, and I think it's because we caught it really early, mainly just physical therapy. Building up everything, right? I said to her, it's funny that you say that because when I work out and I'm doing good, I'm going 6 months, everything's good. and then I take a break. I go on vacation, take a couple weeks off. That's when my back starts acting up, when I take the break.
So
And
when you
she
get
was
weak, like when your muscles are
exactly.
not compensating or able to.
Right. So we think that when it bulges out, it's actually just hitting the nerve. And when it hits the spinal cord, that's what's giving me that white machete hot pain in my back, and I drop. So I told her, I said, okay, so just to give you an example, what happened last time, right? I was sore. It tightened up more. I got to a point that I couldn't move. I couldn't lean over. I couldn't do anything. And then it gave out. And I was like, my body's really good at telling me what's going on if I pay attention. And I said that morning, if I make one wrong move, that's it, I'm going down. And I made the wrong move. And she goes, yeah. She's like, pay attention to that. She's like, if your body is telling you, even if you work out, you're going like 2 days and you're like, my back is still sore. It's not your back. It's the disc. And your disc is bulging. Call us. Gotta do physical therapy. So I'm in physical therapy right now. I saw a chiropractor last week. He cracked me. God, that felt amazing. I'm doing a test, neurological test to see what's going on, see where the nerves are, make sure they are pinched, which they're 90% sure, but they want to double check. Like this practice, like literally every dot,
Awesome.
every T, like
they're actually getting your shit together.
Yeah.
Like most people just deal with this for life.
Mm-hmm.
Like, oh, I got a bad back.
Yeah. No, they're doing good. And the big thing is that like I can't knowingly deal with this and just say fuck it. I can maintain it and know that I have like my son in my hand. Like when I go down, it's like that's it. I'm down. Doesn't matter what's in my hand. I'm going down. Can't do that.
Yeah, babies have soft heads.
Yeah. Been dropped a few times. Now, so that's a little update of what's going on. So physical therapy, right. I'm in. I'm doing like 2 to 3 days a week. I'm seeing a chiropractor, really good guy. Getting a neuro test to see what's going on. We know what's going on with my back. Ironically, she goes, look, to know your history of what you did, when I was getting your MRIs, I was almost convinced that I was going to see a mangled mess.
So you're better than...
She said my back is like 95% solid. She's like, it's just this one little part.
Like it...
Based on what you did, that's amazing.
It should be worse.
Yeah. So I was like, all right. And everybody in the practice is saying the same thing. So the physical therapist, they're like, yeah, it's not that bad. It's good. I've seen much worse cases, blah, blah, blah. Chiropractor, he's like, looking at that, you get really nervous when you start having back problems because you start going like, is it ALS? And they're like, you have a mild case, it's just a little degenerative, a little arthritic in the neck. They're like, for some reason, something you were doing, you were just looking up a lot. You know what that is? Do you know what that is? That's the face kick in the fucking I would take the face kick 3 times a day in the fucking neck. That's what that is.
You were a stunt double, basically.
Yeah, that's what it is. You know me. I sell it. I sell it. I don't half-ass it. But yeah, that's what's going on with my back, and I'll give you more updates later.
Well, that's good though. I'm glad they're figuring it out, and you have a path.
Yeah. Hopefully it leads to goodness. I mean, the numbness in my hand is definitely getting better, which is good. And I'm going to start working out again next week. I said to the physical therapist, I'm like, I haven't worked out since August. I'm like, yeah, I can feel it. I'm like, I can feel it. And they're like,
no. Swelling? Is that?
The swelling, yes.
You're starting to swell?
The heat. Yeah, they were like, no. They're like, work out. Don't go as hard as you usually do at first because it's been a couple months. But they're like, work out.
Okay.
And we'll maintain you.
Well, I'm happy you figured it out more.
Thanks, man.
All right. Well, on that note.
All right, brother. I'll catch you later, brother.
All right. Have a good one. Bye.
Peace.